Yet again, another insane and absolute hype Kengan chapter. Today we have my Kengan Omega Chapter 122 review. We have the Tiger Nico revealing himself to everyone, something I didn't think would happen right away, but seeing the reaction of certain characters was great. We have Edward Wu showing up for the first time in a while, and of course, the full reveal of the long-awaited hooded tiger vessel. Everyone's been waiting for this since the end of Kengan Ashura, pairing with one of the most hype moments in all of Kengan Omega. Some might say I'm just a Kengan fanboy, and the people saying that are absolutely right. So much to talk about today. Make sure you're subscribed and join the Discord to talk more about Kengan, including access to chapter links when they drop, and check out the other stuff in the description. But now, let's begin. The chapter begins with the continuation of the fight. Remember last chapter, Waka got out after the slam and looked very enraged, with him trying to charge Faye, but Faye's trying to keep his distance by throwing jabs, landing directly on Waka's forehead, of course, not doing any considerable damage, and Waka's still able to push through and land another hit. And this shot right here does look very similar to how Oma reacted to many strikes from Waka during the Annihilation tournament, using of course Indestructible to tank them. I'm guessing Faye is doing the same here. And to be honest, you just gotta feel bad for Waka in fighting two people who are masters of the Nico style, because the last fight we actually got to see of Waka in Kengan was against Oma in facing Oma's Nico style. Now his first fight in Omega is against Faye, with him shortly about to put out the Nico style. So feels bad for our boy Waka, but regardless of Faye blocking this attack, he's still feeling the pain of Waka's regular blows being considered knockout blows. So even if you block them, you're going to get some damage. He tries to counter by going for a kick, but this time Waka was fast enough to actually grab his leg. Then we have Waka trying to follow up with another punch, but Faye was able to counter him by jumping into the air and kicking Waka directly with his other leg. And then we have both of them falling down on the ground because Faye had no feet on the ground remaining, and that kick was quite deadly on Waka. I don't think Waka actually saw that coming whatsoever. And I'm still waiting for the, almighty blast call to come out. So regardless of what's going to happen shortly, we still have to wait for the blast call and what Faye is going to do about that. But from both fighters falling on the ground, we cut to the crowd seeing Cosmo and everyone else around him, who notice this dark figure appearing on a monitor that's above the arena, with everyone also noticing the dead bodies on the ground, as Sayaka and I guess Jerry Tyson also point out. We cut to the CEO of Purgatory, who says the following via in a monologue: "But I made sure that the monitoring room was heavily guarded." My dude, a heavily guarded monitoring room isn't going to keep out this absolute crazy dude. Everyone is confused and questioning what's going on, apart from one person, Lolong, who currently is just sleeping, I guess. This is the only time we see Lolong during the chapter, and my man, eyes closed, hands crossed, doesn't give a single shit. Which you gotta respect, but yeah, it does beg the question what Lolong is truly up to. Then we have the dark figure on the monitor begin to talk, saying the following: "Surely that's enough playing around. Release it," of course directly talking to Faye. Everyone gets to see the face of the person who's talking on the monitor. Instantly, without a delay, Kano crushes the metal handle he's holding on to, which is pretty badass and shows Kano's absolute rage for the Tiger Nico, with him saying Tokita, of course Oma responding, "Yeah, that fucker, he's still alive." So, yep, Oma and Kano are absolutely pissed. And then after like however many chapters, we see Edward and Zia G, who are still walking in the hallways. So where is Kuro Ryan? That's my question. Didn't he like sprint chase after them, but they're still casually walking in the hallways? Maybe they're speed walkers. But yeah, we have Zia G, who recognizes the voice, kind of freaking out as well, with him saying the following: "Currently, he," referring to the Tiger Nico, "has the same level of authority as Edward and the head." So this confirms more regarding the worm hierarchy. So Edward, who is part of Worm but doesn't really care too much about the affairs of Worm, is kind of using them to get what he wants, which I'm guessing is the destruction of the Kuro clan. And the Tiger Nico, who uses the worm, is part of Worm but is still doing his own thing. And of course the head, who we have no idea who that is currently. With this reveal, I think it's safe to say that Edward, the head, and the Tiger Nico are around the same when it comes to overall strength. If those are the three with the same level of authority, I'm guessing the highest level as well. Unless there's someone above the head, which would be pretty crazy. And we also have Edward Wu, whose last laughing about the Tiger Nico being overprotective, which of course is about his student, which we'll talk about soon. But yeah, absolute hype. From there we cut to the Tiger Nico who's chilling in the monitoring room, and he's actually thinking about Oma's Nico, of course, revealing a little bit more about the fight they had, with Oma's Nico saying the following to the other Nico: "I'll stop you even if it means I have to kill you." And then, as we know, he failed, which of course makes the Tiger Nico laugh. "I won't stop. I can't be stopped by someone who's already dead." But he does seem to have some type of like PTSD from that fight. And then from there we actually see the Tiger Nico with two eyes, which doesn't make sense considering what we saw last chapter. This could be just a flashback image or what Oma and Kano remember seeing the Tiger Nico to look like, but I'm not too sure why he has two eyes here. But he's saying the following: "There are only 3 left. My students sure have whittled down." So I'm not too sure what he means by 3. We have Lu Tian, who's a student. We have Fei, who we learn shortly is a student. We have Kano, who was a previous student. And we have Kiryu, who of course was also a previous student, and he could be a current student, but we have no idea about that. And Oma, who was never a student, he just got given the advance by the Tiger Nico. Him saying there are only 3 left, does that mean he doesn't know Kiryu is alive? Or maybe that Lu Tian has also been killed, which could be interesting, but yeah, that's just my assumption based on what he says here. Then we have confirmation of it being the other Tachita Nico if people didn't believe it for some reason. And then he talks directly to Kano and Oma. He says, "Both of you have grown well. Take a look at your junior strength." With this, it does kind of seem like he's considering Oma one of his students, but still, I'm not too sure. And we do see one eye looking at both Oma and Kano. This could be just a issue regarding the, art and the, a mistake or something that he has 2 eyes here, but still, I'm not too sure about that. But from there, we cut to the fight with Fei still playing around, entering the crane stance, which, results in Waka to start questioning what he's doing. And then he says, "I'll let you in on a little secret. This stance is completely pointless." This of course triggers Waka, and he does kind of, bait Waka in a little bit more with this pretty goofy panel. This, as I mentioned, triggers Waka. He tries to charge Fei with a enraged punch, and then it happens. This pretty great panel of Fei pulling out Weeping Willow, chucking Waka in the air like an absolute mad lad. Some extra stuff regarding Fei's Nico style, or Fei's Weeping Willow to be precise. The draft of the chapter says this: "Should flow from previous page," just regular stuff, and shows Fei's strength to lift Waka with one arm while redirecting. So adding more to how impressive this actually was. It wasn't just, Nico style magic or Kengan martial art magic. It does add in a lot of Fei's actual raw skill and strength into what he's doing against Waka, who, as a reminder, is like 190 kilograms. And as comparison, this is what happened when Oma tried using Weeping Willow on Waka during the Annihilation Tournament. Granted, Waka had knowledge that Oma was going to use this move at some point during the fight, so would have worked out a countermeasure in time, and Oma of course was very injured. So there are different things to consider, but regardless, Fei's Weeping Willow here and what is shown of his Nico style in this quick instant here is very impressive. From there, we see Waka slamming on the ground, showing the amount of damage this actually did, with everyone realizing what that technique was, including Waka, who says, "This technique is Nico Style's Weeping Willow. That's Oma's technique." And then we also have Waka trying to get up, and Fei is still holding on to Waka's hand, and somehow Fei is pretty much keeping Waka down, with Waka saying, "I can't break free." So whatever Fei's doing, he's pretty much sunning Waka in the scene here. Fei's response to Waka saying this is Oma's technique: "Wrong. This is my Nico style. I am the tiger's vessel." And that is the end of the chapter, with one of the most hype panels in all of Kengan. We waited so long for the reveal of the hooded tiger vessel. Many people were doubting that it was Fei, that he was part of Team Purgatory. We're finally moving past all that. It's Fei, as I've been saying for quite a while now. It isn't No Long or some other character, but yeah, finally got it revealed. Absolute hype, and of course an absolute great chapter. So now the question is, now that Faye's going to pull out all his Nico style tricks and everything that he's learned from the Tiger Nico and his, current youngest student who I'm guessing he considers a prodigy of some kind. So yeah, I'm thinking this is a big rips to our boy Waka, but of course he has Blast Core and maybe something he's developed over the 2 years. But considering the narrative importance of the Tiger Vessel, it may be a big rip for him. But yeah, that's pretty much everything to talk about for today's chapter review. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure to subscribe. As always, shout out to the people who support the channel via the Patreon. But yep, that's it guys.